Okay, so we talked about how the nature of our body is suffering or dukkha, unsatisfactory. How similarly the causes of our body are unsatisfactory. And now the results of our body are also unsatisfactory. Or maybe not just limiting it to this body. Maybe let's broaden it to actually all of the aggregates, their nature, their cause, and now their effect. And so here we can see, you know, how does our present body, how does it produce more dukkha, more suffering? Well, you know, when our body hurts, we get angry, you know, we complain, we do this and we do that. And that creates negative karma, which again furthers us having more and more rebirths. Our mind gets unhappy. When our mind is unhappy, we blame other people, we speak harshly, we maybe even beat them up or trash their reputation or something like that. And so again, we're creating the cause for more suffering. So you could see that whenever our body or our mind, whenever the mental or physical aggregates are in a state of unhappiness, then anger arises quite easily and creates negative karma. And then similarly, there's always the craving in the mind, you know, craving to make the body happy, craving to make the mind happy. And then all of our actions just become a slave to our grasping at the happiness of this life. And again, by having that kind of attachment and it bringing covetousness, then we do and say things to get what we want and, you know, again, create more negative karma. And so it's in this way that we say our present body is the vessel that creates future suffering. Okay? And that's what's meant when we say that the result of these aggregates is dukkha, in the sense that, you know, on the basis of the present body and mind, we just create more problems for ourselves. Okay? And so here's where renunciation and the determination to be free, the intent to attain liberation, here's where that attitude is so important. Because when we just look at our present aggregates with a worldly viewpoint, that's when the attachment and aversion comes, and the negative karma gets created. When we can look at these aggregates with a dharma mind, then instead of just being so reactive and like, I want this and I don't want that, and creating so much, you know, destructive karma, we're able to look at it and, you know, go, wow, this is what is meant by samsara, is these aggregates that are under the influence of afflictions and karma. This is exactly what the Buddha meant when he said, the aggregates under the influence of afflictions and karma. That is my life experience at this very moment. And if I want to change it and not use it to create the cause for more suffering in the future, then I have to react to my present situation with a dharma mind and not let my mind go into the usual worldly things of, you know, I like and I don't like and I want and I don't want, give me this and get that away from me. But to look at it and say, okay, my present experience, it's due to karma, you know, and if I don't like it, there's nobody else to blame. I created the cause, basically through my self-centered actions. And so, you know, that doesn't mean I need to continue suffering. Of course, I need to take medicine or, you know, do what needs to be done to balance the mind. But I'm not going to create the karma of anger and attachment here. And instead, I'm just going to accept the situation with a dharma mind and now motivate myself to attain liberation, to get out of this situation of being bound by afflictions and karma to these tainted 5 aggregates. And then even broadening my perspective even more, seeing that this is everybody else's situation and generating compassion and then bodhicitta for the situation of everybody else. Because everybody else is similarly bound in the same way I am. Okay? So if we react to our present situation in that kind of way, then we're completely turning the situation around. Okay? And we're using that situation to lead our mind through the Dharma way of thinking to liberation and enlightenment, to the generation of renunciation and bodhicitta. Okay, so it's really important to remember this, and if the mind starts to react in its own ordinary, self-centered, samsaric, complaining way, or grasping, clinging way, then to just stop it and turn the situation. So this is a practice of mind training. That's why it's so important.